Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Really do appreciate it. As always, shout out to the 19. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If you are enjoying the content, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really is huge. It really does help out a lot, and I do appreciate it. So let's dig in. Man, I really wanted to get to this weekend, but just did not have the time. Big story out of the WNBA. Does this surprise any of the new fans? That's my question. My first question for all of you. Seattle Storm coaching staff under investigation for alleged mistreatment of players. Per report, the WNBPA, that's the Players Union, confirmed that it was aware of an investigation, but it declined to share further details. So apparently, the complaints came from multiple players. They accused the Storm's coaching staff, including head coach Noelle Quinn, of harassment, of bullying during games and practices, incidents that stem from on-court performances. Now, we have a law firm hired by the team that's been looking into the situation for a couple of weeks. Now, Noelle Quinn, she was part of the Storm's 2018 title team. She played for the franchise from 2013 through 2018, joined the coaching staff in 2019. 2020, she was promoted to associate head coach when Dan Hughes was forced to step away. She led the Storm to another championship that season. When Hughes officially retired, Quinn was hired as head coach in 2021 and has been the head coach ever since. She signed a multi-year extension just last year in September of 2023. The Storm made a whole bunch of flashy signings this offseason. They got Jewel Lloyd. They got Wumike. They got NECA, by the way, Gabby Williams after the Olympics, and so on and so forth. They finished 25 and 15 in the number 5 seed, swept by the Aces in the first round. Interesting, Wumike is also the WNBPA president and is set to be a free agent. Now, for those that don't remember, we'll show a little bit of this. I'm going to show a brief part of this. So you can see this was, if you all remember, this was a Seattle Storm game. Indiana blew them out, right? Caitlin Clark was pumping up the crowd, and she got bumped. And I forget the player now, but I did a video on this. She got bumped by a Seattle player from behind that sort of redirected Caitlin Clark, who was going toward her own bench, and forced her to go kind of through the bench of the Seattle Storm. And the coach got really upset. And here's where she goes, as she said herself in a post-game press conference, that she's gangsta, folks. Okay, Noelle Quinn's words, she's gangsta. That might come back to haunt her just a little bit, but this is after she just got her butt whipped by Caitlin Clark. This is her getting in the face and trying to intimidate Christy Sides while the game is going on, along with another Seattle coach, along with another player who, by the way she's getting in her face, very, very aggressive nonsense, complaining. The whole Seattle Storm team, the whole situation seems very, very, to use a popular word from themselves, as they refer to the new fans of the WNBA, quite toxic, folks. Quite toxic. We had this. This is shout out to the W360. This is pretty funny because I thought the same thing in a way. That's what's so crazy about the WNBA. WNBA Central. Sources close to Jewel Lloyd says she and other players were bullied by Noelle Quinn for not following tactical instructions. The source also attributes Lloyd's lackluster performance at the 2024 Olympics to biased coaching from Cheryl Reeves. So I don't know. That sounds like a Jewel Lloyd problem. And as the W360 here points out, Jewel Lloyd was stinky in the playoffs. If Noelle Quinn told her she stinks, that's not bullying. Jewel stink. I think she meant stunk in that one, in the Olympics as well. And that is true. That is what I think is the really interesting part in this dynamic. Look, we have seen from the WNBA that the WNBA has a serious problem from top to bottom in terms of the people, the environment that's been created, the culture that's been created. It is a bad one, folks. There are rumor that Noelle Quinn also had a few players in this clique, players that she didn't quote unquote bully. It was a very hostile environment that was created by her. It divided the players up. As I said, Noelle had her favorites, and then there were the others. Apparently, the players were being called slurs and, dumb and all kinds of other abusive terms. Allegedly, I'm saying, allegedly. That's why I said it goes back to the whole, in this case, she said. But here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. All this stuff has been going on the entirety of the WNBA. This is part of the reason they don't want the new fans. It's part of the reason they don't like the new fans, because all these new eyeballs of people that know what basketball should be. Now you bring in the media attention as well, because the media now has to cover the WNBA because it's big sports news. The WNBA doesn't want that. They can't survive the disinfectant that the light is bringing. The WNBA has found itself to be pretty disgusting, pretty toxic, filled with awful people from top to bottom, and they cannot survive the scrutiny that actual fans bring with them. The entire league needs to be overhauled with massive changes from top to bottom. Look, I mean, we've seen with the Aces and the Sky and the Sun, the Hamby situation, the Skylar Diggins situation in Phoenix, now the Seattle situation, and on and on. You had the Connecticut Sun situation with the way some of their players play. This is a league-wide problem. And it needs, if the WNBA wants to take the next step into a legitimate, successful sports league, professional sports league, it needs to fix all of this now. And here's the thing, from everything I've seen from the WNBA, I'm not going to, do I think Noelle Quinn, just from what I've seen, has issues? Yeah, from her behavior in the press conference about being gangster to the way she treated Christy Sides. And look, how I feel about Christy Sides as a coach, I think letting her go was absolutely the right decision. It's completely irrelevant to this and how she was treated on the sideline by Noelle Quinn, her assistant coach, and I think that was Skylar Diggins, one of her players. It's absolutely unacceptable. The referee should not allow that to happen either. They should have been teed up and tossed right then. The game was going on, and you have the Seattle coaches. This game is not over. This is not post-game where they're talking. The game is happening, and you have Seattle, multiple coaches and players over on the Indiana Fever side, getting in the face of the Fever head coach. Completely unacceptable. So for me, it's probably a little of both. I think you had issues with Noelle Quinn and how she treated players, and I think you've also got a lot of players who have that same type of attitude. We've seen it all the time in this league. We see it in the way they handle press conferences. They are entitled. They are arrogant. They don't give a crap about anyone else but themselves, and they're completely unprofessional. That's a toxic brew right there, folks. That is a toxic brew, and I know I'm going to get in trouble with this one. I know I am. But from everything I've seen this year in the WNBA, and some people said this regarding the Indiana Fever specifically, but I'm starting to think maybe in the league as a whole, we need some more male coaches, folks, because the women, these players, they are not looking up to the coaches. They're not respecting the coaches. The coaches, and vice versa, the coaches aren't doing a very good job either. They don't know how to lead. We have a mean girls situation of WNBA. The problem is you have the mean girls that involve the head coach. You have the mean girls that involve the players, and they're clashing with each other. And it absolutely needs to be cleaned up. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. It would not surprise me if, I think you're going to get one of two situations. You're probably going to get Noelle Quinn being the sacrificial lamb, or nothing's going to happen. Right? I guess it's going to depend on how much pressure and what gets out there, because basically you have a, hurt feelings. And we don't know if that goes to the degree of a fireable offense and what they're talking about here. I mean, my initial reaction is, one, it doesn't surprise me this coming from a coach in the WNBA, but two, the same as the W360 says here, that with what we've seen from these players, the coach could have very easily be given normal criticism that you would expect from a coach. And to these players, that's bullying. Anything that goes against what they say, anything that hurts their feels is bullying, it's hate, it's toxic, and it must. Ha, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts on this whole Seattle Storm situation, players in general, the WNBA, what needs to change. You know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. And I will talk to you later.